Today there is stability in the EGX 30, with declines in the EGX 70 by 0.5%. Is this a session to catch breath before resuming the rise again, in your opinion?
To start, good morning and thank you for having me. I think there might be some rotation happening between sectors. The EGX 70 index has performed extremely well. The past, the expectations were that we would see levels of 18,000 points by the end of the year. That was a distant target. But the liquidity that was present in the EGX 70 index so significantly was the reason it outperformed the performance of the EGX 30. I think what might be happening is some temporary profit taking, and therefore we might start to see buying momentum again, continued potential selling pressure or stability for the stocks, leading ones due to sales from Egyptian and Arab institutions. This might be what is causing a bit of divergence. I think it is possible that we start to see some profit taking for a session or two, and from there we start to see the upward trend continue again.
The real estate sector is suffering from selling pressures in the last two sessions. What are the reasons in your opinion? I think most of the real estate sector, because it joins the EGX 70 index and we have some clear selling pressure on the leading stocks. Perhaps only the Commercial International Bank had a positive performance lately, the last two sessions, and that is what was helping the index, the 30. But overall, we find that all the liquidity, there is liquidity, but it is directed to the EGX 70 because it is easier to move, unlike the low liquidity in the EGX 30, and therefore this lack of liquidity leads to selling pressure on the leading stocks because large stocks like Talat Mustafa, Emaar, and Palm Hills need large liquidity to move, and it is difficult for them to move, unless we start to see buying momentum from Egyptian and foreign institutions, and perhaps this is not happening at the moment due to the events in the region. We have some news that we might start to see whether there could be an interest rate hike in America at the meeting today, and perhaps that is what is causing a slight retreat in hot money and foreign investments in general in emerging markets. Yes, of course. We are still in the midst of the quarterly earnings disclosure season. Do you think, in light of the data you presented, are these results capable of moving the market further? What are the most prominent results you are anticipating that are capable of moving the market more significantly? I think the main factor currently for the market is the events and geopolitical tensions that are very visible, We had started to see a cycle happening recently that we come on Sunday and start to see some selling pressure due to events whose pace might have escalated over the weekend. And then we start to see some calm statements, some calm and news that there might be negotiations. We start to see stability in the sessions of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then we start to see the return of selling pressure again in the Thursday session, fearing that an escalation of events might occur in the region. I believe to a large extent that the main factor currently which significantly affects the market movement overall is events. It is expected that business results will be positive. Over the past period, we have been seeing positive business results. We might see some decline in the cement and petrochemical sectors following the recent events. Their relative weight is quite strong regarding the indices, the main index, so it may create some pressure. But overall, I believe the main factor currently is the geopolitical events in the region and the liquidity regarding Egyptian institutions and foreigners once again. The presence of liquidity above 12 billion, or above 10 billion specifically, being between 10 and 12 helps the market significantly for us to see an upturn. All sessions that had liquidity above 11 billion, most of them were sessions with gains for blue chip stocks.